All right, we're here. It's week 4 already of Outlaws Thunder Junction League, and we got our feature matches here. Uh, Joined as always by Raphael. We got John P. Go Cool or Go Home, and he'll be playing against Dirk, who's out for some redemption from last week. Let's see what he has in his hand here to work with.
I believe I'm not. I'm not sure if he shoots a mullet or not. But if he keeps it, it's Jagged Barrens, Evolving Wild, Swamp Mountain, a Palaka Predation. I believe it's from Ikoria, the card that can flip for a swamp. The Sharpshooter and a Stubborn Burrow Fiend. And it seems we are keeping and putting back. It looks like Palaka. What's John got in the
Yeah,
meanwhile?
the modal card was from Zendikar, but yeah.
Zendi Bendy.
So John's kept a hand that it needs a little work to get there. Um, He's got a Festering Gulch and a Forest for land, so a black green and a forest. He's got Vault Plunderer and Jolene and Servant of the Stinger as his OTJ cards. And then he's shopped a bit offset here. He has Overwhelming Remorse, which is a removal spell, and Obstinate Baloth from Bro, and Nissa, who shakes the world from War of the Spark, that very, very powerful 5 mana Planeswalker. But he needs to get there first, and his first 2 draw steps have not been the land cards. So he'll be able to cast Binding Negotiation. He'll be able to cast Servant of the Stinger, but he'll need it to work out here.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Dirk doesn't get like another creature developed, two swinging in is a lot of time to make things
I
happen.
can't imagine he cares about the Sharpshooter. Oh, I was gonna say I would just take the thing that rips a powerful card out of my hand.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he goes, hey, you know what? I have Nissa and Vault Plunder. I would believe, though, after looking at his hand, Dirk would probably take Nissa, but maybe he feels that his hand's a little too slow.
John is he's violently highlighting his Obstinate Baloth as the card he wishes for his opponent to discard.
You know, I've always wondered this if the opponent can see if you highlight something, and I can see him clicking over the Baloth. I've never known this until today.
Okay, so in the future, if you have Obstinate Baloth and you're hoping your opponent chooses for you to discard it, don't highlight over it for 20 seconds straight.
Yeah, you know, I had a little brain fart. So when you said Vault Plunderer, I don't know why my mind just instantly said Tyrant. My brain just
Oh,
instantly went.
no, we're not quite there. I think he keeps the hand because he has the Vault Plunderer. Uh, these 2 mana spells that he was able to cast were drawn off the top and not in his starting hand.
He's definitely gonna kind of need to get to the races at some point or another. Good thing Dirk drew a Mind Raider for the turn, so he can't play it.
Okay,
But he's gonna murder this 1/3, just
yeah,
keep pushing
that
the
makes
damage
that makes
through.
sense. That thing
Yeah,
is it's a stop sign right now, and here comes a Hard Bristle Bandit. So maybe John can get something going here with another land, or even Vault Plunderer can maybe dig him to where he needs to be here.
yeah. I mean, this Burrow Fiend could become an issue. I mean, those were two wonderful draws to see go in the graveyard, though.
Oof. What was the second? There was a Plani Thatcher, and what was the other one?
I'm not sure if it's called Misery of Shadow. It's the
Oh, the
five
Harvester,
drop
right?
the net twos.
The
Yes.
Harvester. Oh, jeez. Okay, so here's a land. All right, so we're sort of clawing back into this. We now have basically everything is almost everything's castable at this juncture.
We'll just have to see what John can do here, though. Dirk does he did draw a Desert's Dew for the turn, so if John takes this, he could just die next turn, but rightfully choosing the ball.
He says let's not die. How about that? So
The unfortunate
Nissa
thing,
can
though is
come
I
into
mean,
play, but it's not going to be very effective.
yeah, I almost think this is not worth the play here. I would think in John's mind he might go Obstinate Baloth, but Dirk can just kill it with the Desert's Dew.
Well, he only has one desert there, so it doesn't quite die. The Blooming
Am I
Marsh
misreading it?
is
Okay.
that's the fast land. Very confusing that they put a cycle of rare lands in the set that are in fact not deserts. And this is going to be really bad because he's going to get land destruction here with the deserts too.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, if he hits, what's he at, 6 right now? So if he hits one other creature off this, he could just kill John this turn.
Yeah, he's going to get his land killed here, which I think is basically going to be going to be the game. I think Obstinate Bailoff had to be the play there, but he went for a bit of the more high impact card that can maybe pull him back in over the next couple turns. But all right,
This might work in his favor. I mean, Dirk is kind of drawing lands here with just a forest and a mountain, like in hand.
let's see. Maybe he decides to target the. Yeah, I mean, I think John got a bit of a reprieve here by Nissa being the one that got attacked.
It's hard to say if it was the right choice or not, but it makes the most sense. I mean, as long as this Burrow Fiend can't be dealt with, as I say it, it's been dealt with.
Yeah, he had the Consuming Ashes. So we know about two of the cards left in hand. The other unknown is the. It's actually from SNC, the Rocks Pummeler, 6 mana, 6/3, and it comes in
With
with the
the
shield
counter on it.
counter and it has trample for as long as it has the counter on it.
It's gonna be rough for Dirk. This is another land drawn for turn. Granted, it does do damage, I believe. I want to say it's the red green land from this
Okay,
set, but I'm not sure why Dirk would play the untapped land instead of playing the tap land. I'm not sure if there's a crime trigger or something he wants.
okay. So yeah, so I think he's just gonna play the life gain. Yeah, yeah, he's just gonna gain life here, and then he can drop the Rhino next turn, which protects itself. And definitely stabilize here. I think not like the Nissa was, maybe he was thinking to himself, I can use the Nissa as a distraction, right? Like my opponent will kill it, but it'll save me some life, and it absolutely did.
Planeswalker 101. If you can't kill him, kill a Planeswalker. It's pretty much like Life Gain, right?
Yeah, now he's drawn a lively dirge, which can possibly go get a bomb of some kind.
Well, this is going to be interesting. So Dirk did see Karavek on top with that Surveil, and he kept it on top. And then
Okay,
he has two ping lands here. So sadly, the Pummeler is going to be a little different. Well, he has a Desert's Dew in there, so the Pummeler's Dew can be dealt with. And then he does have a follow-up desert land. So I guess this is what he's holding the land for as an out. So good on him.
all right.
I would think Desert Stew on the Pummeler would be the play here. Negging a shield counter was the cleanest way to get rid of shield creatures in SNC. It
Yeah,
just wasn't crazy prominent outside of black.
yeah. There was a couple other things that did it, but yeah, that was a good way to answer it.
Let's see. I'm surprised he's not windmilling this. I guess there might be another line he's thinking of.
Yeah, not sure here, but I mean, you have to. I mean, I guess does he get to cast anything? No. Oh no, he does get to cast something. No, he doesn't have black mana. Okay. Yeah, that's the trouble with Karavak in like a 3 color deck. The more colors and types of mana you add to your deck, the worse Karavak gets, right?
The fair point that you made. I almost didn't realize that by playing. I always forget Karavek is 2 pips of black.
Like if you had a mono black deck, Karavak would probably be like the best card in your deck. In a 2 color deck, it could still probably be among the best cards in your deck. In a 3 color deck, it drops, I think, in how good it is.
It's interesting. Like the stats on it are interesting to say the least. I think according to 17 lands, it's like 51% win rate, which is I thought it would at least be like fair stat wise, but it's just not proving correct. And this will end the game with a swamp drawn for the turn. Would have been nice last turn. Would have been
Yeah.
nice, but then he wouldn't have gotten the crime
All right, so
trigger.
we see the
So
comeback here. A little bit of land troubles on John's part, but worked through it. Uh, got a couple of lucky breaks there. I mean, he got Dirk sort of sputtered out at the end, couldn't find anything good. Had a bunch of his good stuff milled and drew lands, and John pulls it out. And looking at his deck here, he's gone for I think he's gone for the full power play here of play most of my powerful cards because he has an Akul himself, Nissa, Oko the ringleader, so all sorts of mana costs here. But we saw the mana work out just well enough. He's black green base with a bunch of red cards and a blue card.
kind of funny. He has an Akul and he has a Nissa. We have 2 Akuls and we have a Nissa at home.
Go on.
It's I don't know what set. It's the Golgari Nissa.
Oh yeah, from Zendikar.
Yeah, I don't think I have no idea what this card does. If you might have some memory of it.
Oh, I know it can turn your lands into like 3/3s with menace, and then um it could bring back a creature from your graveyard with mana cost equal to the amount of loyalty on it, and it gets a loyalty count every time you play a land. Something like this.
Oh,
I'm not
I think was
infinitely
it?
familiar with it. It's not a bomb. It's not a bomb by
Doesn't
any
sound like
means,
a
but I
bomb.
mean it's a good card.
It sounds decent, but I think the only thing Dirk took out was a Mind Raider. Heartless, is it Heartless Plunder or Heartless Pillage?
Heartless
The discard
Pillage,
two, make
yeah,
a treasure
Heartless
to be swung.
Pillage. Yeah.
Yes. And then for the hand, it's 5 lands, being 2 swamps, a mountain, a Jagged Barrens, and a Polani's Hatcher on the top end.
Okay. Yeah, we got an okay hand here for John. Elysian Caryatid to start off. Anybody who was playing some Theros draft this week will remember this one. In hand, he's got Unfortunate Accident, Blood Hustler, Overwhelming Remorse, and a bunch of lands, one of which being a desert that he's going to play now to trigger the Blood Hustler, and the rest are basics, 2 mountains, and a forest. So he's good to cast basically everything in his deck now. Yep,
Does he have anything
sometimes
to deal with this
sometimes
Polani's
the mana
Hatcher?
just works out. Which card?
The Hatcher from LCI?
Well, he has 2 removal spells, but unless he has the mana open when it's cast before you go to combat, he will get it. But if he draws nothing next turn, leaves his mana up, he will actually be able to cleanly kill the Hatcher. But scratch that with a cool off the top.
Pool plays. It plays.
Yeah, I mean the power of this card is playing it early. The more forest you put in your deck, which John, I think I saw you had 7 basic forests. Like the more forest you put in your deck, obviously the worse the card gets. Like playing it on turn 6 effectively, not as busted. Yeah,
Like if you said I'm going to play a 6 mana 5/5, you go, that's fair.
yeah, 5/5. Like that's fine. Like on turn
A
4, it's hard
four
to handle.
drop 5/5 is it's a little scary. You're like, I'm on a 4 turn clock. I got to kill that at some point.
So now he's figuring out if he can Vadmir and kill the Planes Hatcher. So he can now. It looks like, yeah. So the Elysian Caryatid taps for 2 mana because he has a 4 power creature. So he was able to play the Vadim, get his trigger because he had a 5 power creature, and attack Dirk. And Dirk's looking like he might be in a bit of trouble here if he can't answer. There's now multiple problems on board. Blood
Dirk is going to need
Hustler,
help from the top of the
Akul, and
deck here.
Vadmir are all pretty big threats, I would say, right now, in the face of not much of a board on the other side.
This hand's not set up for this amount of aggression this early. So I mean, like he did start with 5 lands and the Hatcher and the Duelist, and then off the top, he's just ripped a Plunderer. He has an at knife point, but I guess that's just a little too slow for this
Yeah,
board
at knife
currently right
point is
now.
like nickel and diming, little bits of value.
Yeah, I know some people are absolutely in love with the card, but I mean, like this is the worst thing you want to see when you have a card like at knife point.
Yeah, at knife point is like you're using like a tiny little chisel, and John's just like hitting with sledgehammers. He's
And
like, I
not to
got
mention,
a I got a Vadmir, I got an Akul, I got activations here that can pump both my creatures, so the blocks
it's
are
also
just
these two
nightmarish.
drops are growing, right? For 2 mana, you got a 3/3 out of the deal, and they can potentially still grow a little bigger. Is John representing a trick here, or is this just I don't
Oh,
care?
he has an unfortunate accident, and he also has the Blood Hustler activation. He has
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana total, so
do
he can't
both? He can't
fully spree the
kill something.
unfortunate and do well. He could kill something, but he just wouldn't get the 1/1. He could cast unfortunate accident for just 2 black. But
Does it only cost 3? I don't know why I thought it
no,
cost
it costs
4.
2 black if you want to
Okay.
get it without the token.
Well, for Dirk, that's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit like John just came out of the gates swinging with these heavy hitters, and it just worked out. The Akul, like basically on curve, um, pretty impressive. Like this is why the card's powerful. When you do get to play it on turn 4, you do get to get really far ahead.
I was looking to see if we had any odds on tonight's feature matches, but
Oh, we
I
didn't
do not see the odds.
we didn't get the results yet. Maybe
Yeah, I stayed out of the saloon this week. It was
okay.
very tempting,
Is
but
the
a
is
lot of
the
these games.
is the money a little tight?
Uh, I got a $300 balance, so I could have gambled on some games. But I mean, like on this game, I would have gambled for Goku. just because of I've seen his deck in action. Like when it goes off, it goes off. Like I've seen some crazy tear the peak lines he's played. I haven't really seen Dirk's deck do anything crazy, but like for all the other matchups, I have no idea. And there's still that what if on how other people are going to bet. Like everybody's known for the last couple weeks, you bet on the underdog. Do we see that kind of like flip now, where more people bet for the underdog? Well, I don't know if this saves them, but he did just draw an Akul for the turn.
I mean, I think no, it's going to die to the unfortunate accident. So, yeah, I mean, based on the quality of our players and the decks, like, it's basically a lot of the games I would say are a toss up. I don't think like, any one player is so far advantage above another. Um, that the
Guy
bets
with
is kind
cow
of just
army I've
like
heard about.
I think you would just say who do I think other people are going to bet on, and you bet on the other. You bet on the underdog based on what direction you think people are going to go. But I've stayed out of this saloon. I needed to preserve my money.
Well, Dirk's hopes are growing right here. Okay, I have a 5/5 on the board. I can stabilize a little bit. I can chump these little dudes, and maybe I can live another turn, draw something else. But
Abandon all hope, I think, is about to occur here.
yeah, from what it sounds like you said, we might see the concession.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a survival here. I mean, he can chump block with the Deadeye Duelist. That's his only actual move here.
Okay, 3 in the air, block, block. 4 on the ground. No, 1 on the ground. So 4 overall.
Yeah, he may get to untap here. So this is now setting up for 3 trample. I think attacking everything is extremely safe. Yeah, he drew a treasure dredger for the turn, has a land in hand, so no tricks other than the onboard blood hustler trick, which is it's it's pretty scary as is.
So was that lethal if he swung all? Because then he could have drained for the last one, right?
He attacked all, I guess. Yeah, I suppose.
I had one missing in my head. I haven't played Blood Hustler in God knows how long.
You don't see them in drafts anymore.
Yeah,
People
so
scoop them
had
up.
he swung with the 1/1, that was lethal, but it's probably fine regardless. This board state is absolutely. Oh, he had a second activation? Where did that come from?
Well, from having all the mana. All right.
Fair, fair.
So impressive showing there in the second game, definitely from John P. He takes home the victory, and we'll see everybody back for our next feature match in a little bit.